Hello YouTube, welcome to, I forget, maybe episode 22? I can check that real quick. Behind the screen episode 22, in which I will be, hopefully with chat's assistance, able assistance, designing the stat block for use with my homebrew 5th ed game. I've alluded and stated several times that the end boss, so to speak, of my game will be an Archfey Lord, so that's, pretty self-explanatory. Fey. Now, the recap, I should probably change properties. So the players, as I said, last session started the boss fight. The PC, we'll call them the heroes. Accessed the hidden panic suite of a panic apartment kind of suite under Javik Trenton's mansion. And went exploring it. They found a large black dog and decided to try and kill it, which alerted Javik to their presence. And we didn't actually finish the... Sorry, my second monitor's over here, so I'm looking at it to make sure I'm typing correctly. We didn't finish the... Trenton. How does that look? Yep, that looks fine. I just need to add a period and we're all good. We didn't finish the boss fight. We got about halfway through it. They took out... first round of combat didn't go very well for them. He hit them all with fear. Most of them failed, so they had to flee. Over the course of the 2.5 hours that we played, they eventually came back. Took out one of his guard dogs, these huge black furred beasts that project an aura of unluck. It took out one of those. The second one, I think, is nearly dead. Javik's, not doing too hot, but they were tangling with Javik, with the beasts of Eloman, with the reflections of power. And then the last thing that happened was Javik called in an oath that had been sworn to him by a hag, and the hag appeared behind the party, and that's why we had to wrap up because we ran out of time. Unfortunately, we're not playing tonight. Well, it depends who you ask. We are playing D&D tonight, but we are not playing my game. A friend of one of my players is running a one-shot because one of the players couldn't make it, and I didn't think it was fair to finish the boss fight without him. So ordinarily, I'm fine for running a session without a player, especially with such a large group, because I have 6 players, that it kind of, like, you can have a player miss an odd session every now and then. It doesn't really impact the game in any way. But when it comes to climactic encounters, my advice would always be to have all your players there so they feel like they've all taken part in some way. So that's that. So after they fight Javik, the players are going to encounter the archvillain, the big bad. And they are going to have the potential to fight him. And I didn't want to have nebulous, random generated numbers in my head. I wanted to have an actual stat block ready for this. So that's what we're doing today. I don't know how long it's going to take. Usually these things take a while, especially with typing out all the features and stuff. I've got a few examples of other Archfey from Kobold Press's extremely useful Tome of... Tome of Beasts, that's the one. Including one that I want to kind of pattern very closely because it's almost what I want for this big bad, but not quite. I've also got the Dungeon Master's Guide for the recommended challenge rating values, and I have the monster manual in case I want to check anything. You know what, I could put the Dungeon Master's Guide over here so it's easily accessed. case I want to check any existing stat blocks that I don't want to just frantically go through a PDF for. So with that out of the way, let's get started. So the monster name, I can't put proper names because the stat block messes them up in terms of grammar. We'll go with his title, Lord of the Cinder Hall. Gender is male. Size is medium. He is Fae. Yeah, that's just humanoid tags. Unaligned. Right, so I need to quickly check something in Xanathar's, and it'll be way quicker to open the PDF that I have. Man, obviously shelling out for both PDF and the rulebook is expensive, but it's sorry, the Dead Tree version is expensive, but it helps. It does help. So I've got 6 characters at level 20. So CR24 is the upper limit of what I'm aiming for. I don't really want to go for CR24 because they won't be encountering him alone. But it's a good idea of what we want. So, well, the table in the DMG goes up to CR30, so that's good. If we go with CR20, just as a baseline, and then I can obviously alter that. So CR20 is an appropriate challenge for 6 level 15 characters. Maybe not. They will be level 20 by the time they get to him properly. Go with 22. I think we'll go with CR22 because I can always alter this as they, as they progress in the story anyway. So that gives them a proficiency bonus of +7. CR22 armor class on average is 19. Average hit points are absurd. We'll go with, well, he's a medium creature, so it's a D8. So I'm looking for between 446 to 490. Attack bonus is 11, which is, it's like plus. It's 4 + 7, so that's fine. With a damage output of 159 to 176 per turn, which is pretty high. And a spell save DC of 20. Wow. Okay, so he's not going to be messing around. I didn't think he would be, but there we go. So that's all of that setup done. So the example stat block I've got is for a challenge rating 18 creature. And that's fine, because I'll be upping that stuff anyway. Yeah, doing over 150 damage around is really quite difficult to get to unless you have an absurd number of attacks or stupid damage. So, although I guess legendary actions do add into that, maybe. So we can make potentially 6 attacks, which is 60, 72, which is still less than it should be. Interesting. Anyway, so the stat block I've got is as follows, and I will be changing this to reflect. Ooh, actually, are any of these are higher? This one's closer to what I want, so we'll go with this one for now. So, because he's going to be more of a dexterity-based melee attacker. So, 20. 17. 20. Just gonna add all these in as is, and then obviously alter them. 18 and 26. Beefy. There's a beefy stat line, although obviously it is an absurdly high level challenge rating creature. So that's that. Just want to check the saving throw proficiencies of a certain class. That should be in the table at the front of the class section, if I recall correctly. Yep. So it'll be, how do I do that? I assume just by adding this, maybe? So if I preview that, what does it get me? Okay, that's what that does. Cool, fine. So that should be 11, and that should be 15. Yeah, that's what we want. And then put that back there. Languages are easy. It's common and Sylvan, Elvish, Druidic, and where's Orc? Orc, because he's currently also impersonating an orc. So that's all that. That's all fine and good. Passive perception score is fine. Dark vision to 60. That's fine. And then skills, what does this... Well, skills is going to be animal handling. And obviously deception and persuasion being Fey. And we'll go with perception and survival as well, I think. Because he's going to be like a leader of the wild hunt situation. So he's going to be good at nature and spotting things. Which means his passive perception should be way higher than that. There we go, 21. That's the right number. 10 plus 11. Okay. And then we've got resistances and immunities. Exception type, it'll be that, and immunity to weapons made of, not made of cold iron. Does that, oh, delete that, add that. Yes, that's what I want. He's also going to be immune to fire damage because he is the Lord of the Cinder Hall. Fire is his thing. And lightning damage because he also deals lightning damage. And then resistance to thunder damage, tying in with the storm aspect of the lightning damage. Oh, the charmed condition. Oh, no. Immune to the charmed condition. You can't be resistant to conditions. Whoops, that's my bad. I think that's okay for now. Obviously, I can change all these up. I think that should be above. Oh, I can't alter the position in the hierarchy, apparently. Never mind. So we've got stat block. I still need to generate health. Yeah, that's nowhere near enough. That's getting there. 450 is a nice number. So add that to the preview so we can keep track of things. He's going to be wearing probably... His armor class shouldn't be at 24. I know that much. Ooh, what would it be? What would it be? Because plate, I don't believe allows you to add to or although to be fair, he is, breaking several of the rules by his very existence. So I could have him in plate and then just add his dex modifier to it. Yeah, we'll go with that, I think. But he can add, so 18 plus 5 will be 23. Plate armor. Yep. To be fair, just plate will get it across, I think. There we go. And then, so that's that. I don't think he'll be using a shield because he'll be using one hand with a sword and one hand to cast spells. He might have the shield spell, haven't really decided yet. So now it's all abilities, actions and stuff, I think. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, so how do I add legendary resistances? That's just legendary actions, isn't it? Yes. Which we will need to sort out, but not just yet. So, legendary resistance. Ignore this name. That is not the name it is. That is just the stat block I'm using. If the of the Cinder Hall fails a saving throw, you can choose to succeed instead. Bracket 3/day. Close bracket. So that should... Did that add it? It did. There we go. So that's the legendary resistance added. And then... I don't know if magic resistance makes sense, because he's not really a proper spellcaster. I might add it as a reaction that he can grant himself advantage, but obviously that's his reaction done. Maybe give him a choice of 2 reactions, like he can grant himself advantage or he can cast, he can do something else. Actually, what is this one? Yeah, this guy doesn't have that, so that's fine. That doesn't make sense to have. So I guess just spellcasting stuff. This is obviously where it gets a bit tedious. Ability, spellcasting, warlock, spellcasting level 18, casting ability, charisma. Actually, no, you know what? We'll go with sorcerer. We'll go with sorcerer spells. Still charisma, and it's 4 first level spell slots. 3. Oh, it's 3 down to 5th, so that's easy. Then 1 for everything else. So we've got, do these make sense? Actually, I could do it. Druid spells. That might make more sense, considering the feeling I'm going for with him. And just use his charisma as his spellcasting ability modifier. Let's do that. Let's do that. Are there any other spellcasting? Not really on that one, because that's all innate spells. I'm sure it'll be fine. So I need that and that. So I'm going for more kind of storm or fire spells. So I think produce flame is a dead certainty. So we've got produce flame. Add spell. And Thorn Whip. Nope. Why is that? Why is there a blank? Okay. That's weird. I don't like it. Make it stop. Bruce Flame, Thorn Whip. And the options in here. Infestation, summoning creatures to help. Mold Earth and Primal Savagery. So that's those 5. And then we've got first level spell slots. First level druid spells. Well, clearly Fairy Fire. These aren't going to be in alphabetical order, and I'm going to have to deal with that, or just fix it, later on. And Thunder Wave. And Absorb Elements. And Ice Knife. But I might reskin that to do fire damage instead. And the 3 second level spells. Clearly Flame Blade. And Flaming Sphere Flaming Sphere is an amazing spell. I heart it so much. Oh, whoops. How do I... That is gone horribly wrong. How do I delete the spells? Apparently I can't delete it without deleting the entire thing. Well, that's annoying. No. Apparently I can. Never mind. And it puts it in alphabetical order for me. Nice. Try again. Flame Blade. Nope. Flame Blade. Add spell. Flaming Sphere. Add spell. Do anything in here. Second level spells. Not really. There's Warding Wind. Actually, that might be a good idea. Oh, ranged weapons. Maybe not. Maybe not so useful. There we go. There's Earthbind. Or Spike Growth. Go Spike Growth. Again, I'm not a big fan of enemies that can self-heal. So he's not going to be able to heal himself, but I might throw in a minion that can heal him at a cost or something. Obviously call Lightning. Call Lightning. Oh. No, thank you. Third level spells. Flame Arrows. I know it's not a druid spell. Well, that was Wall of Fire. What level is Wall of Fire? Where is it? 4th level. Gosh darn it. Not quite there yet. I would like an AoE. Effect. Although Dispel Magic might be useful as a utility. I'm just giving them number of spells equal to spell slots. Obviously, they might end up casting the same spell 3 times, but 4th level spells. Wall of Fire 100%. Stone Skin might be useful. And Conjure Minor Elemental, possibly. Please ignore the sound of pages turning. Oh, no, it's already got that. Never mind. Ooh, what is that? Yes, Guardian of Nature. That is incredible. Guardian of Nature. So that essentially turns him into a tree spirit, which will be cool, I feel. Yeah, I think we'll go with Conjure Minor Elementals as well. Add spell. And then we've got 5th level spells. Another 3 slots. Geish, because actually I might make that an innate ability. Conjure Elemental, definitely. I know that it takes a while to it takes more than an action to cast, so he might have one already conjured and be missing that spell slot. Wall of Stone. And what options are here? Okay. Yep. Wrath of Nature it is. I also think the post just arrived, so after I've sorted out these spells, I will check that. Okay. There we go, that was weird. And then it's got 1 spell slot for everything else. I feel like Wall of Thorns or Sunbeam, maybe. Does anything else grabs me here? Druid spells. What does that one do? Might be useful. Investiture of Flame. So that's the level. Oh, that was the level 6 spell. I'm gonna have to make a note of where these spells are from eventually. Level 7 spell. I need to check what level a certain spell is. Yes, so add this already. I know it's not a druid spell, but he knows power would kill. 7th level druid spells are such things as, well, I feel like Firestorm. And then 8th level spell. Sunburst, maybe. What's in them? Xanathar's. Doesn't have any 8th level spells. Let's see what Sunburst is. Yes. Yes, we'll go with that. So, Sunburst, add spell, save. So if we go back to this, Ward of the Cinder Hall is an 18th level spellcaster. Spell save DC 23. Plus 15 to hit with spell attacks. That's all good. Do you want to add innate spell casting? We'll go through it again, but it doesn't really matter. I think this is the at-wills. Vicious Mockery, Shield, and there was another one that I saw, or thought of, I should say. Oh yeah, Charm Person, idiot. Charm Person, so that's at will, and then maybe 3 times a day. Suggestion. And can't remember what it's called. Oh yeah. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. How could I forget that? And sleep. Oops, sleep. Again, 18th level spellcaster, just so it's all the same. Sleep might not work actually because doesn't have a innate spellcasting edit. How would I go about denoting spell level? Probably like this. Sleep. 4th level. Suggestion. I don't know if, I can't remember if Suggestion has a benefit to being cast at a higher level, but there we go. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. 4th level. Save. Preview. Yeah, that'll work. I won't give him the ability to charm multiple people at a time because that's just not fair. Vicious Mockery I do need to edit, however, because it will be doing, I think, 4d4 damage at 18th level. How do I alphabet? $4d4, yeah. So 4d4. Oops, forgot the open bracket. There we go. Add spell. Save. Preview. That's all fine and dandy. So next will be, I guess, his actions, which will be going back to the, oh, it doesn't really matter. That works fine for me. Or does it? What does this one do? Nope, that works fine for me. So I drag that to there. Get rid of that so I can read it still. Not ability. Add action. makes 3 attacks with his Cinder Blade. Save. Preview. And then add action, weapon attack, name, Cinder Blade, type, melee weapon attack, 2 hit bonus, it'd be 12. Target, 1 creature, be a long sword being wielded one-handed, so 1d8 plus 5. I think a longsword deals slashing damage. Oh, that might mess things up. Nope, no, it's all good. Cinder Blade, edit, on hit, plus. What are the averages given here? Yeah, we'll go with that. 13, 46 fire damage. That's fine. Actually, I should probably save this before going any further, in case what happened last time happens again. Lord of the Cinder Hall. Save. And then I need to go back to this and edit. And 3 attacks with his Cinder Blade. Or with his lightning bow. And then add ability. Nope. Add action. Lightning bow is ranged weapon. Again, to hit value of 12 using dexterity. 1 target. And it's 1d8 plus 5 piercing damage. And then plus 10, 3d6. The lightning damage. That's not what. Oh. All targets. All creatures between the Lord of the Cinder Hall and the target must succeed on a DC 23 dexterity saving throw, or take, again we'll go with the 10 3d6 lightning damage, taking half damage on a success. I think that's the wording of most spells in the game. And then that's I think it's 150, 600 for a longbow. I could be wrong, but it doesn't really matter that much. The generator I'm using is just called D&D Monster. If you give me a second, I will find the link for you, actually. Sorry, I've only just seen your comment. D&D Monster generator. Where did it go? To this one. Save that. It is not that one. Is there anything in the files of the generator that will help here? Where is it? Where'd it go? There it is. There it is. There is no README. Darn it. Right. I just literally typed in D&D monster generator and it just came up with this. That might be it. Yes, that's the one. Thank you, Death. That's the generator I'm using. It makes a you can choose different. Save it again. If you don't like the default stat block, there's like Reddit style plain text and various others, and it does have plugins for a few other generators, but I prefer this style stat block. Where was I? Range weapon plus 12 to hit. That's the range. One creature, 9 piercing damage plus 9 damage. Or creature between that. That's fine. This is all subject to change anyway, so it doesn't really matter about accuracy that much. We'll have reaction name Flame Shield. I'll tell you what, if I put this over on this screen so I can actually see chat, that would be good. That would be a good thing to do. Lord of the Cinder Hall is hit with a successful attack. The attacker must succeed on a... Right. I mean, no dexterity is usually the saving throw for this kind of flame spell, but I kind of want to mix it up a little bit. To make sure I'm still recording. I'm still recording. Constitution doesn't really make sense. I could just do strength. Strength. Saving throw. Oh, successful melee. Weapon attack. Must succeed on a DC 23 for everything. Or take 4d6 fire damage and drop their weapon, taking half the damage and keeping hold of their weapon on a success. I will say the this generator does have some niggles with it that I find a bit annoying. Like you can't set spell levels for innate spell casting and things like that, but it's pretty good. It does what I need it to. Keeping hold of their weapon on a success. I've used it before. If you want to go to there's a video on my YouTube channel from a few weeks ago where I use it to create 2 stat blocks if you want more like of how to do it as well. Let's make this 4d10. So it's a bit like Hellish Rebuke, but with the added dropping of the weapon thing. I don't want him to be able to cast a spell and attack, because he's not really a spellcaster, but he has access to the magic if it needs it, which is why there's no real healing here. But it's just there in case it comes up. Oh, I needed an ability. Ability name weird. This is not going to make sense to anyone because it's going to be involving a mechanic that isn't in the game, but Lord of the Cinder Hall attacks. That's not how you spell attacks. Deal an additional 2d10. We'll say force damage for now, but that's up to debate. On successful attacks, either spell or weapon. Slash spell attacks against Oathbreakers. Save. Make sure it's on the stat block properly. There it is. So essentially, what this is playing with the idea that Fae are, you know, they make promises and they have to stick by them, and that there are consequences for breaking oaths and breaking your word. So the player party are going to be essentially given the chance to swear an oath not to interfere any further, which they can't do because he's the big bad and is doing stuff again that they'll stumble into without really knowing it's him, maybe. And then they can choose to say no, which is when they'll fight him, and this is what the stat block's been created for. But if they say yes, then obviously the weird feature ability will come into play when they face him again later down the line. And I also want to twist the weird as a bonus action. Lord. Oh, another problem with the generator is you can't use proper names because of the way it displays the text. So for example, if I'd put a name here, it would say Bob is an 18th level spellcaster. Oh no, where was it? Yeah, here. And it would say the Bob is an 18th level spellcaster. The Bob has the following spells prepared. It doesn't work. It doesn't flow. Can grant the weird ability to a creature he can see within 120 feet until start of his next turn. Make sure that's added properly. There we go. And then with the legendary actions, sorry, I just need a drink. I think I think one of the legendary actions is probably going to be well, I could do it right now actually. Add legendary. Lord of the Cinder Hall. Number of actions 3. So ability name. Punish the Oathbreaker. And until the end of the Lord of the Cinder Hall's next turn, he gains advantage on attacks made against one Oathbreaker he can see. So the idea is you nominate at that point which Oathbreaker he will be gaining advantage against. And then standard one is obviously that they make an attack. So Wrath of the Storm. targets all hostile creatures. I keep wording things like a board game. It's not the same thing in the slightest. All hostile creatures within 20 feet of the Lord of the Cinder Hall must succeed on a DC 23 Dexterity saving throw. Or take what was it? 1346 lightning damage, taking half damage on a success. I might up that, later on down the line. And then third legendary action, so we've got grant advantage against one target, which is like Vow of Enmity. AoE around centered on self. And maybe a spellcasting one. Maybe kind of like a gloating thing. Rightful superiority. That's superiority. Lord of the Cinder Hall can cast Vicious Mockery. So that should all be added down here. Connect 3 legendary actions choosing from the options below. Only 1 legendary action can be used at a time and only at the end of the other creature's turn. Of another creature's turn, the Lord of the Cinder Hall regains spent legendary action at the start of its turn. Punish the Oathbreaker, Wrath of the Storm, and Rightful Superiority. I think that's really the joy of high level creatures is that sure, they've got a load of health and stuff, but their actual stat block isn't that bad. Isn't that long. I mean, there's lair actions and things, but he's not going to be in his lair, so he doesn't need the lair actions planning out or anything like that. So that's not a problem right now. So Lord of the Cinder Hall, medium unaligned Fey. He's going after his own interests. Armor class 23, it's plate, but with his dex modifier added because he's an Archfey. 450 hit points, speed 30 feet, that's fine. He's going to have a mount at the end of the campaign, so that's not so much of a problem. Stat blocks, ability scores are fine. Saving throws, skills, damage immunities, damage resistances, condition immunity. I don't think many things get the ability to cast multiple spells a turn. No. I mean, he might have a teleport as an action, but that doesn't really fit in with him, especially if he's on a horse or a stag in this instance. I don't think that really matters. What does the Lord of the Hunt have available? Again, I'm using stat blocks from Kobold Precious Tome of Beasts as an example of what I could do. Sorry. That's that. That's fine. That's fine. No, I think it's all fine for now. He's not going to be in his lair, so as I say, I don't need to design those just yet, although I will eventually. I think I'm okay for now. This is really all I needed to get done for next week. Where is it? There it is. So if I do 2 columns and then export this as a PNG, hopefully it works. Hopefully we don't have the same problem that we had last time. Lord of the Cinder Hall. Save. Oh, whoops. Oh. Oh, that one. Okay, so it hasn't saved it where I told it to. Oh, it's crashed. Oh dear. Just give it a moment to fix itself. Load these back up. There we go. Check it in a few moments. Nope, it's still crashed. I might have to close it. That would suck. So let's just reopen that, shall we? Oh, I just realized the terrible grammar in the recap. My bad. My bad. There we go. Full screen that. And load. And what's the damage like? Bear with me while I find the right file. This one. How far back did it save the stat block? Oh, I've got the legendary actions, so that's fine. Right, let's try again. Desktop. Lord of the Cinder Hall. Save. It's tiny. Why is it so tiny? Is that any better? A little bit. It's good enough. So that's cool. So that's really all I wanted to get done today. I can't think of anything else I need to do. I've got, like, the hag already has a stat blocks from the monster manual. Afterwards, they're just going to be going back to Scour. There's not going to be any real encounter, so to speak. Yeah, I don't think I need to do any more prep, really, for my D&D game. So I could just play something for an hour or so on stream. Let us see what I have. I mean, Porsche's my backup game for pretty much every day, so that's a possibility. Let's just see what I have that isn't Porsche that might be okay to play for an hour on stream. Because I don't need to make any more stat blocks just yet. And I don't... I don't need any more maps. I do need to work out distances on the current map, which, you know, I'm more than capable of doing off stream. Alternatively, of course, could go back to do the in-gun world building stuff. You know what? I'll do that rather than playing a game. Okay, so YouTube, this is the end of my Archvillain stat block creation. But if you're on Twitch, if you hang around, I've got about an hour to kill still, so I'll be doing some more world building, and I'd love your assistance with that. Yeah, so I'll end the YouTube recording now.